Okay, welcome to part 2. The next book I want to show you is Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. Anne Lamott is very funny, and I'll show you a little clip of her before I go on any further. Here we go.
I used to not be able to work if there were dishes in the sink. Then I had a child. And now I could work if there was a corpse in the sink. You know? Because you're always on borrowed time.
Yeah, so that's Anne Lamott. And that sense of humor comes through in her book. She has kind of two tenets that she stresses. The first is short assignments, and the second is shitty first drafts. Her book is divided into several sections, and perhaps a little bit unlike the other books that I'm going to show you, she does talk about plot and character and dialogue and some of the specific things around fiction writing. It is in 5 parts. So the first part is called Writing. The second part, the writing frame of mind. And then other parts which involve writer's block, writing groups, finding your voice. A lot of interesting things there, all done with a great sense of humor. And I just like this book very much. I'd almost recommend it to someone on the basis of its entertainment value. She talks a lot about things other than writing, or about life in general. She's had some difficult periods in her life, and she talks about those quite openly. She is also, this is to my knowledge the only book she's written about writing. She has written memoir, and she's also written a couple of novels at least. One of my favorite books. The next book has been around since the early 90s. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And this is I guess you'd call it a writing program. It's in 12 chapters, and she recommends spending a week on each one. And a couple of practices that she emphasizes are what she calls morning pages, which are 3 pages of handwritten stream of consciousness that you don't edit or don't worry about mistakes. Basically unguided. You just go with the flow. And that can be used as a prelude to other writing or in and of itself. The other thing that she emphasizes is what she calls an artist date. And that's setting aside, say, a couple of hours a week to do something for your creative self. Not always something serious. If you're a writer, for instance, not necessarily going to a library or a bookstore. Incidentally, this is, for artists of all kinds, graphic artists, painters, and writers. Cameron herself is a screenwriter and a novelist, and she's written a number of books on writing. But the techniques are useful for people other than writers. Each of the chapters usually has tasks within it for you to do. And there are some tasks at the end of the chapter, as well as a check-in where you ask yourself about how well you've maintained the habit of writing the morning pages every morning, and if you haven't, why haven't you? It's sort of taking yourself to task a little bit. Where you went on your artist's date, for instance, and if indeed you went to your artist's date. And the artist's date too, I said about not making it too serious, and she talks about, doing something that appeals to your kid. Going to a toy store or something that your adult might consider frivolous. And I like that aspect of this book. Anyway, it's great if you're looking for some structure. If you're looking for something to help you with your writing that is sequential and motivating. There are a lot of exercise, self-exploratory exercises in it. But you can also come back and choose chapters at the moment that appeal to you after you've gone through it. But I would recommend going through it sequentially the first time. So that's Julia Cameron. And I'm just going to see if there's anything else I wanted to mention here. Now, the next one is a bit of an oddball. On Becoming an Artist by Ellen Langer. Ellen Langer is a psychologist. She is a professor at Harvard. And she's written books on mindfulness, or her version of mindfulness. This book is interesting because it was written as she was in the process of learning to paint, or learning to paint might give you the wrong impression. She took up painting, and really she avoided a conventional instruction approach. Basically, she just got herself some canvas and got herself some paints, and away she went. It's an interesting book in that, in a way, I guess you could say it's an analysis of her experience with approaching painting. This could certainly be applied to writing or other art forms. She talks about the tyranny of evaluation, of comparing our work to other people's. The mindlessness of social comparison is another chapter heading. The blindness of knowing. So it's an interesting book. Unlike any that I've come across, I think it'd be great for someone who is feeling intimidated or overwhelmed by the talent of people who have gone before. I think it encourages you to find your own way and do your own work. Anyway, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to have to sign off and say thanks for sticking around. I hope you found some of this interesting to you. Bye.